The increase. The increase described in the scriptures is an exponential expansion of the blessing or abundance, as when the multitudes were fed by a small amount of loaves of bread and some fish several times. This can be described as the number that symbolizes a great amount. 40. It's a number that symbolizes a great amount. You see, a lot of times it wasn't exactly the number 40. It was like anything was big was described as 40. They had a different way of thinking in those days. Measurements were not as refined. So 40. Okay. That was used to describe a great amount. As we would say, a few is used to describe 3. And a couple is used to describe 2. Well, for them, 40 was used quite often. So 40-fold increase. Okay, we could call this a 40-fold increase then, using this type of old terminology. You see, but that particular thing, feeding the multitudes with just a few loaves of bread and a few fishes, that was the faith of Christ. That was the faith of Jesus. When you start doing things right, now let's put that in quotation, inverted comma. When you start, quote, doing things right, unquote. Okay, it's like, we're not trying to scold you or anything here. I'm not trying to give it like a scolding, trying to lay down the law here. Oh, let's start doing things right around here. No, but when you start, as we say, quote unquote, doing things right. All right. And that includes specific prayer. Now we're emphasizing specificity here. That's quite often a term used in legal jargon. The specificity of a cross-examination or something like that in a court. Now, and that includes specific prayer. And you're talking about, okay, this is, people are used to having prayers that are in breviaries, where they go through and they say the same prayer. Now, we're human beings trying to work out this walk of faith here. Now, when we start getting the help of Jesus, it gets different. It gets a little bigger. So, when you start doing things right, and that includes specific prayer, now this would be also, or more, shall we say, more like ad-libbing something completely different. You're using specificity to describe a certain situation. It's almost like you're in the field trying to describe what your petition is. Okay, so when you start doing things right, and that includes specific prayer, claiming the promises in the scriptures, instead of all that pathetic ritual that has led organized religion down the dark path of satanic control, ever since that self-righteous religious bigot Cain slew his truly righteous brother. When you start doing it right, quote unquote, doing things God's way instead of your own erroneous way, the increase will be then, quote, added unto you, unquote. That with persecution, which helps you to sober up and really mean business for Jesus for a change, and you will begin to truly prosper. Your 2 or 3-fold is still significant. You have to start somewhere. Jeremiah 33:3. It's a promise. Remember that one. That's a really good promise. JM 333. That is how it's going to be. Jeremiah 33:3. God promises to you, quote, call unto me, and I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things which thou knowest not, unquote. Jeremiah 33:3.